I mostly like working alone, but sometimes I think I could use a secretary. I've told you the story before about the year that I forgot Mother's Day was coming up and decided I had to preach about hell, so I preached about hell on Mother's Day. That happened once. This time I haven't forgotten about Father's Day, but actually I thought it was like last week. I've been prepared for Father's Day for like 2 or 3 weeks now, so Father's Day is coming up this Sunday, actually. But what that means is now I've had 2 or 3 weeks to think about this sermon, and it is going to be really, really good. In keeping with our tradition, we're not just going to preach about fathers, but we're going to use the day to talk a little bit about fathers and honor them. But what we're really going to talk about is our Heavenly Father. In fact, that's the title of the sermon, Our Heavenly Father. I'm going to tell you a couple of things about God that you already know and that you're quite happy about. And then I'm going to tell you something about God that you may not believe and you certainly are not happy about. But it's something that we need to believe, it's something we need to know, and it's something that's actually for our good. Come and hear this Sunday what our Heavenly Father does for us. In Bible study, we're in 1 Samuel chapter 8, and I'm always amazed at how we sometimes remember things just the way we want to remember them rather than the way they were. In 1 Samuel chapter 8, I've always said that the people came to Samuel and asked him to give them a king because they wanted to be like the nations around them. That's what I've always thought. And that's partially true. But there are several other things that go into their reasoning that they need a physical king to lead them instead of just letting God lead them. And I think you might be surprised at what brings that about. This story and this chapter actually says a lot to us about leadership and about taking the things of God seriously and what happens when we don't. It is a much bigger issue, and it's a very applicable one to us today. So 1 Samuel chapter 8, the chapter I've entitled King Me. That's what we'll study at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning. So those two things are what are happening this Sunday morning, and I'm sure looking forward to seeing you there. One other thing to tell you about really quickly, just to get you thinking ahead. For the past 20 years or so, I have read a page out of this book every single day that I've been in the office. It's a book that Sarah gave me for Christmas one time. It's called The 100 Simple Secrets of Happy People. And it's got a one-page thought every day that you can read that reminds you of one thing that happy people do consistently. I have benefited a great deal from this book, and here's what I'm going to do starting next week. I'm going to read you a page from this book. Or at least I'm going to summarize the tip for the day. This is such a good book. I want to share it with you, and if it's still in print, encourage you to go and find it and read it. So the videos will be maybe less than a minute. They're going to be super short, things you can share with other people, things that will give you a different perspective and remind you of what is good in our lives and what's good around us. So that will start happening next week. You can watch for that video. I am really excited about the sermon. As I said, I've had 3 weeks to think about it. I think I've got something to say. It's something that I have needed to hear. It's something that has helped me, and I think it'll help you and any visitor you might bring with you as well. See you on Sunday.